hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. And I hope you're all doing good today with all these changing times. And today we have Olumide who will be joining us and teaching us about building bots using the Microsoft Bot Framework Composer. And the great part about this is that even if you're coming from a non-technical background, you can learn how to build these bots today through the tutorial that Olumide is going to show you. And apart from that, he is also a Gold Microsoft Learn Ambassador and a software engineer. And he's also certified in the Azure AI Engineer certification. Olumide, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, great. Thank you, Sabia, for the introduction. As she has said, I'm Olumide Ogundare. Yeah, she said a lot about me already, so I won't really dwell much on that. It's really amazing being here on MSP Inspire, Microsoft Inspire, and sharing my knowledge with you all on how to build a bot using the Microsoft Bot Framework Composer. So the interesting part about this session is that you don't need a coding background to enjoy the session or flow with the session. All you need is just the intention, the passion to build a bot. That's all you need, and you'll be able to build something after this session. I'm really excited to be here, and I hope you all learn from today's session.
That's really amazing. I hope everyone who's tuning in today will invite their friends as well to join in the session and all the future sessions.
Hey, my name's Akansha Malik and I'm from Melbourne.
Excellent Somi with Val here.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hey, Nathan Tess. I come from Spain.
I'm Prasant from California.
大家好，我是卢建辉。
I'm Netherlands.
I'm Arfan Kasim from Australia.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Marsman from the United States.
Hi, I'm Akita Gupta from India.
Hi, I'm Matthew Renton from the USA.
I'm Joseph Isaac from California.
Hi, Midi Eddie Daoud, Greece, African.
Hi, I'm Anna from Anna.
Merhaba, ben Türkiye'den Daron Yönder.
Hi there. Hi. 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 Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi, Sabia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I guess we can start
So,
now.
Lumde, would you like to tell us a little about your journey? Uh, how did you learn about bots? Started with the bot framework.
Yeah.
Great.
While Olumide would be telling us about that, just a little bit of heads up. Olumide, can you reshare your screen again? So I picked it up
Okay.
and put it. Sure. Thanks.
Okay, so yeah, my screen is up. For me, I as Sabia said, I'm a software engineer. I love building engineering products. I also spend a lot of my free time exploring artificial intelligence. So I've always been interested in AI right from when I was a child, and I've always been intrigued by how you can build intelligent applications and solutions with AI. So that's one of the main reasons why I started exploring AI. I started exploring the various ways you can build intelligence applications. Um, yeah, so joining the Student Ambassadors program, I had to pick up some Microsoft AI tools. And the very first one that really caught my interest was the bot framework. I love the fact that you can get started building a bot using the bot framework. Um, you can use Node.js or C Sharp. Coming from a JavaScript background, it was quite easy for me to pick up Node.js and build a bot as easy as possible. And that's how my interest started with bot framework. I was able to build a cake bot for a friend of mine using the bot framework and Louis. And it was really intelligent and it helped on campus to take orders even without her having to do anything. The bot was taking the orders for her and she was delivering value to people on campus. So it was quite difficult for her initially, but with the bot, life was easier for her. And that was motivated me and inspired me to even do more with the bot framework. And yeah, I started exploring other things in AI like the cognitive services, um, the Louis QA Maker, and so many other AI tools that Microsoft provides. And one of the newest is the bot framework composer, of which I'll be talking about today. So that's pretty much my AI journey. So I guess I can start now. Hello, Sabia, can you hear me? I think you're muted, Sabia.
That's really amazing to see how you've interacted with so many different Microsoft technologies, especially custom vision, how you can. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Great. Thank you, Sabia. So I would go ahead and let's start this journey together. So my session today is basically on building bots with code using with no code using bot framework composer. I'm pretty some of you must have heard about bot framework before. The initial bot framework, with bot framework, you can build bots using some SDKs provided by Microsoft Bot Framework, which is the Node.js, .NET, C Sharp, and Python. And it was really amazing then how you could just get started writing some code and building bots. Um, then after that, Microsoft thought that some people might not have that coding background, but they should be able to impact their environment also. even without coding background. And that was the whole idea of bot framework. That was how it started. And I will be introducing you into this bot framework composer and how you be able to build a bot with no code. So once again, I'm Olumide Ogundari. A student ambassador from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm excited to be here. So basically, for today, what we will be doing, our agenda will be first and foremost, I'll be introducing you into the bot framework composer. I'll also be doing an overview of the functionality, how it works. Then we'll do a quick demo. The demo part is the major value because you'll be able to build a project with my demos. Then we'll quickly do conclusion. So what is bot framework composer? The bot framework composer is a GUI provided for you where you can just go and build a bot by just simple clicks, by using a graphical user interface. You can quickly build a bot and get started. That's pretty much what bot framework composer is. With the bot framework composer, just as you can see on the screen here, you can design and build conversational experiences. You can Right now I'm on a GUI and I'm not coding, and it's really fun because coding sometimes makes things like really boring. So coming here, I can just with a single clicks creating some some sketch and doing stuff here. I can build a bot. If you've used Power Automate before, this flow will look familiar to you actually. So I can just do something, build a bot without having to code. As you can see from the screen here, you can see a welcome user, you can see a loop and all those things. I'm not writing actual code. I'm just creating stuff by just simple clicks. So there's a visual authoring canvas for developers. You can see the canvas here with arrows, with directions, with an architecture and a structure on how you want your bots to look like. So they provide this experience for you with the bot framework composer. You also have integrated language understanding tools like LUIS and QNA Maker. And what LUIS and QNA Maker do for you is to provide you that language understanding. Conversing with humans can be really difficult because people can be funny with the way they describe their feelings, the way they describe their order for you, the way they describe their experience to you. People can be really funny. And most interesting part about this is even in human conversations, human to human conversations, sometimes you converse with people and you don't still understand what they're saying. So how do you intend a bot to 100% understand what you're saying? So that area is really difficult, and that's your idea of bringing in integrated language understanding tools like LUIS and QNA Maker. So what LUIS and QNA Maker will help you do in this case is to understand the intent of your user. So if your user is saying, for example, what is the weather in Lagos, Nigeria, your LUIS will help you to understand that it's trying to get the weather. So your LUIS can return get weather, and you will have a get weather action that will trigger the weather for that particular state or country. So that's what you can use the integrated language understanding tools for. So there are also sophisticated composition of bot replies. So there are different ways a bot can reply. A bot can reply you with text, can reply you with cards, can reply you you can reply you to prompt something like to upload a document, whatever. So there are lots of ways a bot can reply. So here you can define how a bot can reply. It's also open source. Everybody loves open source, right? And Microsoft is really making a big move into open source, making everything open source where people can come and contribute to it. So you can leave a PR on the repo, which I'll be showing you later on. So and it's also cross-platform. So I'll give a quick overview of how it works. So there is a flow editor and there's a form editor. So the flow editor is what you saw in the initial page, right in the middle, where you see the majorly the flow of how your bots will interact and work. So here you can see welcome user, then look for each item, and so many other if statements. So, but what will be happening in each of the blocks that you have there will be handled by the form editor. So basically, how this works is your flow editor gives you visual layouts of nodes and edges on your conversation. So here you have various nodes here. It gives you that layout of how the nodes are structured. It also gives you that branching representation, the if else branching, the conditionals, and all those things. It also gives you like a loop representation of your layout. Then the form editor is actually describes or determines what happens in each node. So each of these nodes you see here, you see a form editor that will describe what will happen. So in this case, looking at what we have here, you would see conditions, priority, run ones. So here you can define the conditions using the form editor. So just see the flow editor as the graphical architecture of your web page, the flow of your web page. Then the form editor is like what is at each node, basically. So that's how it works.
That's great, Olumide. So I see that. So I'm just going to jump in here for a quick question. So we see on the slide that it mentions nodes and edges. Could you maybe explain a little bit what these would be in the flow editor?
Okay, great. So so from here you can see it says visually lay out the nodes and edges on your conversations. So when conversations go on, there are steps to each of those conversations. So for example, I want to build an order bot. There are steps to those conversations. The steps will be, the first step might be like get the person's name. The next step will be get what cake type you want to order. The next step can be like get your location, then get what you want to order. So each of those steps are like nodes in this form. So you use a node to represent each step, while the edges are where what determines like how the nodes will work. So what connects the nodes, where you do the branching and the if else and for each, that those are the edges. So majorly edges describe like how you move from one node to another node. So that's pretty much how it works. So you can see a node like each for as each of the steps you take during interaction with the bot, while the edge will determine the flow of those nodes, what takes which node to which other node. So that's pretty much how flows and edges work, nodes and edges work. So yeah, sorry, a little bit of mistake on my slide. This is meant to be trigger and language understanding. So the very first one you see there is, just a sec. Okay, so here you would see a trigger. So we have two different actions you can do in the bot framework composer. So you can do a trigger, and you can also do, so you can do a trigger and you can also do a recognizer. So here I'm trying to edit the part of my slide that has the trigger and recognizer. Okay, so you can do a trigger and a recognizer. From what you can see on the screen, the one by the left is the trigger. So basically, as I said earlier, we have intent, and that's what your LUIS does for you. Your LUIS helps you to get an intent from any conversation that you have. So I'm going to quickly share my screen to fix that issue. I have no idea why the laptop is hanging. Okay. So I'll stop sharing now and share again. Okay. Let me know if you can see when you can see my screen. Laptop is hanging. Oh shit.
While Olumide sets up his screen, anyone have any questions so far? Feel free to put them in the chat. We're going to be going over it by the end of this session.
Okay, so for now I will just share my old desktop. I don't know why that issue is. What's going on here? Okay, so I'll try to bring up
And also let us
slide
know in the
again.
chat if you've ever tried the Microsoft Bot Framework before. And if you did, what did you like the most about it?
Oh god. This has never happened before. Okay, cool. So let me know when my screen comes up again. For some reason I have no idea. Task manager. Let me just kill them.
Yeah. I think Olumide, your screen is not shared. Can you just reshare it again so we pick it up there?
So for those who
Okay.
just joined, feel free to. Okay, sure.
Sabi, I
Ever
think you can
tried the
go engaging them. So I tried fix the issue with Olumide behind the scene.
Okay, so I'll attempt to share screen now. I think everything should work fine from here. Let me know if you can see it now.
if this can be used with Discord bots.
Okay. So let me
Perhaps
know
we can
when you can
answer
see my screen.
that in the stream as we go.
So I think my screen should be visible from now. I need to confirm if you can see it.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just continue. I'm sorry for the issues. So as I was saying, there is trigger and there is recognizer. The bot framework composer integrates with Louis, and with Louis, I can get intent of conversations. I can get intent of chats. So right here, I can get the intents from the various charts I have, then get a trigger and a recognizer. So how do we get started with the bot framework composer? What do I need to get started? Getting started, I need to have Yarn, a stable version of Yarn. I also need to have the .NET framework installed on my PC. I also need to have Visual Studio Code, bot framework emulator, the latest stable version. So Yarn is majorly a package manager, and an alternative to Yarn is npm. I've not used npm, but it should work. So you can use npm instead of Yarn. But just as the bot framework composer team tells you, you should try to use Yarn instead of npm. That's some advice from them. Then you need .NET framework installed. You need Visual Studio Code. You can download Visual Studio Code from the website. You also need bot framework emulator. So what is bot framework emulator? The bot framework emulator is just basically like it's basically an emulator that allows you to chat locally on your PC. So if, for example, you are building a chatbot and you need to interact with what you are building and for you to be able to see it, you can use a bot framework emulator. It provides you with that environment, that chat environment where you can test your bot. So you can build your bot and test it right in the bot framework emulator. And I'll be showing you how to do that. So you can also use, you also need Node.js version 12.3.0 upwards. At least that's the lowest version you can use for this. Yeah, so what will we be building? I think this should be the most fun part of this whole engagement. Basically today we'll be building a cake order bot. So we'll be building a bot that will take cake orders. And what are the entities that we'll be using to build the bot? A bot consists of entities, intents, and entities and intents. And basically what entities are like naming words. So we also have dialogues. So you have entities, intents, and dialogues. So dialogues are the conversations you have in the bot. So conversations like what is your name? What would you like to have? Those conversations are dialogues. So the entities are like the naming words in those dialogues. So for example, I say when you send a message, you're like, my name is Olumide. The major entity there is name, and the name in that scenario is Olumide. So we have entities which are naming words in chat. We also have intents. So intents are what you mean by from your conversation, the intents of the chat. So for example, if I say, as I said, given in the example earlier, what is the weather like in Lagos? The intent is get weather. So intent is just what you are trying to ask. So yeah, in this case, while building a cake order bot, I for this demo, major things that we'll be using is the name of the person, the cake size, the cake flavor, the address of the person, the phone number, the order number, and the delivery date. And that's pretty much what we'll be taking from the cake bot. So yeah, straight to our demo for today. So I'll quickly share my desktop. So I'll share sharing and share the desktop. Yeah, share entire desktop, share audio. Okay. So let me know when you can see my desktop. Should be visible from there. Okay. So for you to get started, you need to go to the bot framework repository. So you can go there from aka.ms composer, and that should take you to the bot framework composer. So from here you would see let me try to expand so you can see it clearly. So yeah, this is the bot framework composer. If while looking at it, if you look down, I would like to show you the languages aspect. So yeah, you can see the languages that it's been built in. So yeah, you can see TypeScript, you can see JavaScript, a little bit of C# and PowerShell and Dockerfile. So yeah, those are majorly the technologies they use. So this is, if you use bot framework, this is just basically a Node.js bot framework application that is already built down for you, and they now give you a user interface to build bots inside it. That's pretty much how it works. So if I scroll down, you would see how to get started, how to set up the project. So yeah, you can see to get started, you need to download the composer for Windows. You need, or you can use it on Mac and Linux also. So you also need to this is the documentation for. So documentation helps you to like get started, and I'll just quickly just show you. Yeah, so the documentation gives you overview, installation, majorly how to do stuff with the bot framework emulator, how to create dialogues, how to do validations and all those things. We have all the documentations there for you. So I'll go back here and try to set up. So as I said in my slide, let me just quickly go back to the slide. So as I've said in my slide, the major things you need to set up the Yarn, .NET Code, Visual Studio Code, bot framework emulator, and Node.js. I have all those things installed already. So first thing you will need to do is to do your Git clone this repo. So you clone the repo first and foremost. After cloning the repo, then you seed it to the bot framework composer. For me, I already cloned this repo, so I don't need to do this step because that would take a lot of time. It's actually a large application, so I already cloned the repo. So I'll go to the next step, which is to seed it to bot framework composer. So right here, I would show you where I cloned that repo. Let me just close the bot VS Code applications I have up and running. Okay, so so yeah, I have it. I already cloned the application, so I will just go into the application. Sorry. So for me, I just want you to follow with the process here. So after cloning the application, you should see a bot framework dash composer, which is here already. That's what you are seeing here. So the next step is to cd into the composer. So what I will do here is to open with code from here. So I open it with my VS Code. After doing that, then I will cd to the composer. My VS Code might take some time before opening, but it should open quickly. So while that opens, I'll also try to show you the version of .NET I'm running, just to confirm that you need .NET up and running. Yes. So to check your .NET version, you need to do .NET that hyphen version. So I will do that here. .NET hyphen version. So here you can see I'm running with .NET 3. Let me just. You can see here that I'm running .NET 3.1.2.0. So, and that's from my slide. You need 3.1 at least. So I'm running .NET 3.1, and that's all I need. So I should be good to go on that. So let me close this. and follow the steps here. So the next step is to CD into the composer. So inside my Visual Studio, let me just open this up to make things easier so you can see what I'm saying. So I would CD into my composer, and just here, just from here, you would see the various folders here, and you can see the composer here, just to be sure we know where we are seeding into. So yeah, I'll move into my composer, and next thing will be to do my yarn install. I'm going to skip this step because I've done yarn install already. That also will take some time, so I did that prior to the demo. So I won't be doing yarn install, but you have to do yarn install to get started. So yeah, I will do yarn build. So you have to build the application first. So I will do yarn build, and that will take some time, not too much time, say 2 minutes to. So yeah, that should take about 2 minutes or so. So while that is coming up, I also like to note, I think someone asked the question if it can be used with Discord. So right now, the channels you can deploy the bot framework, your bot, either with bot framework or bot composers. We have Teams, we have email. Let me just show you. So it's basically a bot framework application. Sorry, what did I just type? So yeah, you would see the various channels you can connect to. The channels here. You can connect to Cortana, Direct Line, email, Facebook, GroupMe, KIK, Microsoft Teams, Skype. Sorry, I should have zoomed in. So I'll take that again. Yeah, Cortana, Direct Line, Alexa, email, Facebook, GroupMe, KIK, Microsoft Teams, Slack, Telegram, Twilio. Yeah, you can also use a web chat. And there are some other channels. Right now, it does not support Discord. So yeah, so these are the additional channels. Google Hangouts and Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, WebEx Teams, WebSockets, and WebHooks. So yeah, right now there's no support for Discord, but there's some work being ongoing with the bot framework team to support Discord and WhatsApp. So yeah, you need to exercise a little bit of patience for that. So I hope I answered that question. This will also is still compiling, so that should take say 1 to 2 minutes from now. So I also like to touch on some things while we start to build the applications. There are 3 things you need to note while building bots, and they are very important to structure your applications. So you would see earlier while I was breaking down our project, I broke it down into entities. And the reason why I broke down into entities is because there are 3 major things, 3 major sections or areas for building bots. We have the entities, we have the intents, and we have the dialogues. So for what I'm going to build here, we won't be using the intent. And the reason why we won't be using intent is because it's meant to be a simple demo. That might take a couple of times. So I just want to help you get started as easy and as seamless as possible. So that's why I broke it down into entities. And those entities will bring up dialogues. So dialogues are majorly the conversations you see during the chat, the bot chat. So those are dialogues. Then the entities are those things you look out for, those inputs you want to get from the user while the conversation is ongoing. And in this case, case, for you to build a cake bot, I used a friend of mine who does cakes in the university as a case study. So basically, what she does is she gets messages from people on WhatsApp to take an order, and majorly those things that she asked for those orders, majorly those things that she asked for is the person's name, phone number, the cake type, then the cake flavor, and yeah, those are majorly the things she asked for. So that's why I'm stating those things. You are not limited to those things I'm going to include in my demo. There are so many other things you can ask for, but I just like to make it as basic as possible. So yeah, that's on that. I also like to point out some things here. So if you check your structure, the structure of your project here, you would see the bot project here. You will also see the composer here, and you would see my bot. So these are the major things that make that keeps your bot framework composer up and running. So the composer folder consists of what renders the UI that helps you to build the bots. So here you can see this is majorly a Node.js application that renders some UI. Yeah, I see package or JSON. Feel free to look into it, how it works. Then you have the bot project. So basically, when you build a bot using the GUI, the bot you are building is actually a Node.js bot. So while building the bot, right now you notice that okay. So while building the bot, right now you will notice um so right now you notice that right there's nothing inside my node here. I can't see anything here. I can't see anything inside my node here because I've not built a bot yet. But I would show you when we build one. You would see a folder inside the Node.js here that will render the bot that I just built. So that's this. So this should so this is dependent on your network. My network is not that strong right now. So that's why it's taking a couple of time. But it should come up like pretty soon. So I would also while that comes up, let's just do a quick dialogue. So I would quickly run through what the dialogue is going to look like. So the first question will be um, sorry. So let me get the questions that I'm going to be asking the bot while this gets up and running. So I would say
maybe in the chat.
Okay.
Maybe in the chat, people can put in some questions which Olumide can add to the bot as well.
Oh yeah. Feel free to add questions from the chat. I'm going to add to the bot also. Any question, basically any question you think you can ask a cake bot. Feel free to include that in the chat. So yeah, let's say the first part will be to welcome the bot. So I'll say, hello, I am your cake. No, okay. So let me say, hello, you can. So one important thing about bots is, you shouldn't see a bot like a robot. Did I just say that? Yeah, you shouldn't see a bot. Okay, the way we see robots today is more like garbage in, garbage out. Just it does exactly what you tell it to do, right? And it's more like automated. You shouldn't see bots as just automated AI solutions. You should see bots as solutions that have great user experience. You shouldn't just say, "Hey, what is your name?" after the name, then what do you want to order? And that's all. Your bot should have some humor. Should be able to add some like really nice humor to your bot, like, hey, how you doing? So let's try to do that here. I can say hello. You can call me Cakebot. Fresh name, right? Fresh name. Then what about you? I will love to know your name. So I expect to get my user.name. So I'll prompt the user to give me his name. So from there, I should get my user.name. So this is creating an optimized build. So that makes sense. So I'll get my user.name from here. So after that, I'll try to get. So if I check the side, I already stated things I'll need to ask. So I'll try to get the cake size. So I'll say that's a nice name. Then I'll say user.name. So in this case, if you put Olumide, you should say that's a nice name, Olumide. I am so happy to meet you. Then from there, I can what. So the next thing is cake size. So what size of cake will you love to have? And it's also important to give clue in when you prompt users for something. Clues help your user to be able to have an overview of what kind of response you want. So in the clue, I can say 5 inches double. That's a clue, e.g. So meaning you should be able to give an answer within that range. So wherever you compute, I'll say user.cake size. Yeah. Let me just keep an eye on this while that runs. So user.cake size. So after asking for the cake size, I should also try to get what's next, the cake flavor. So I could say thanks. Let's just say that's great. Just some few things to complete your order. So I'm trying to make the user experience as great as possible, so it doesn't just look like a bot that is just giving automated responses. So that's great. Just some few things to complete your order. What flavor? What flavor will you love to have? So for this flavor, I want to. So for example, for my friend, there are like some flavors that she has, and you are forced to choose between each of those flavors. So you can implement that here also and say, I'll give you options, and you choose from those options. So I can say vanilla. I can say vanilla. I can say caramel, strawberry. I can just give those three options. Choose one from it. Then wherever I choose, I'll name it user.flavor. Then after that, I think the next one I'll need to get. So I think after that, the next thing I need to get is the address. So Yeah, so next thing I need to get is the address. Where will you love your cake to be delivered to? Where will you love the cake to be delivered to? Wherever your response you give, I can do make that user the address. Then I also need the date and time you need your cake to be delivered. So when will you like me to deliver your cake? So when we like me to deliver your cake, I can say user dot delivery time, delivery date. So that's this. Those are some of the questions I can ask. Great. So my yarn build is successful. So I should be able to do yarn starter from here. I should be up and running. So yes, I already generated the dialogues. So these are dialogues, question, getting responses. So this is basically a dialogue. I can call this dialogue, this old dialogue, I can call it I can call this my other dialogue. So this is majorly a conversation. So in building bots, you describe conversations that provide value as dialogues. So this is a conversation where in the end I'll get your other details. So I can call it my other dialogue, where the details I'll be getting are the entities to help you get that now. So yarn starter shouldn't really take much time. This should come up ASAP. So once that is up, we will just build the bot. So majorly when you plan or what you want to build, and you also plan requirements um and design the dialogues before writing the code, before actually building the bot. That will help you like to get started as quick as possible. So yeah, as you can see, my composer is now running on localhost 3000. So when I go to localhost 3000 here, yeah, and localhost 3000 reminds me of React. Yeah. So yeah, we have our bot framework emulator live. So let me just quickly zoom so you can see this properly. So yeah, if I come to the home, here is the GUI to build your bot. So this will be your friend for the next couple of minutes while we build our bot. So here you can see examples already, examples of templates where you can use to build your bot. So if I want to build a to-do bot with Louis, I can click this, asking questions, simple to do, empty bots, and so many other things there that you can use. But we'll be building something from like scratch. So yeah, I already have built the cake bot here, but I'll be building it with you all. So we'll build a new bot, create from scratch. Yes, you can use a template and choose any of these templates to build your bot. But yeah, I'll be creating from scratch. Next up, let's name it MS Inspire. And yeah, you can't use spaces in the name. So this is a simple cake but demo built in a session at MS Inspire. It's important to give descriptions. We might have a lot of applications, and just the name might not give you like what exactly the application does. So it's always important to give a name to it. So yeah, when I click create, it automatically creates the structure, a default structure for my application, my bot application that I want to build. So yeah, if you notice when I come here, you would see greeting by default. And yeah, it just from the slides you see, it already gives you like a broader template of what you want to do. So what we want to do, this will make things easier for us. So what I want to do is, it's important that before you start a dialogue, give a welcome message. So I would like to split this into welcome before, to give a welcome message before asking questions. Hello, welcome. Can't say hello twice. Yeah. So yeah, hello, welcome to MS Inspire Kickbot. So I can just do that. Welcome to MS Inspire Kickbot, and I'll use that as my welcome message. So here you would see greeting, but nothing is happening here. So if I try to start my bot, nothing will show. So I will need to add my greeting. So if you check here, you would see send a response, ask a question, create a condition, dialogue management, and so many other things. So what I want to do here is to send a response. So I just want to send a response as you get into my bot. So I don't need to waste much. I'll just copy what I'll say straight up. So hello, welcome to MS Inspire Kickbot. So after that, I want to start a dialogue. So as I said, this is a dialogue, other dialogue that will help me take an order. So to create a dialogue, you can see new dialogue here. So if I click on the new dialogue, I can name it my other dialogue. Quick dialogue to take order. So yeah. So that will create the dialogue for me. So yeah, I can now say after you sent me my welcome message, you can begin the dialogue. So to begin a dialogue, you see dialogue management here. You can see begin a dialogue. So when I click on begin a dialogue, I can select the dialogue name I want to begin. So here, in this case, it's my other dialogue. So let me just also show you the other things here. So apart from sending response, you can ask a question. It could be text input, number input, confirmation, multiple choice, and all those things. You can also create a condition, if else, switch, loop. You can do a dialogue management, begin dialogue, and cancel. You can also manage properties. You can set a property, delete a property. You do like backend, you can do user data here and manipulate it. You can also connect to a third party API, yeah, and you can debug, log to console, and emit a trace. So here I'll quickly go to my other dialogue and start work. So here's my other dialogue, and first thing I want to do is to ask to send a message. And the message is basically an input. So I'm not going to send a response because I'm asking you for something now. So I'll ask you for a text input. So if you notice, two things popped up, the text input and the user input. So if I click on the text input, it will ask you what do you want to ask the user. So you can see bot ask. So if I copy what I want to ask, you'd see it here automatically. You can call me Cakebot, first name, right? What about you? I would love to know your name. You get that? So if I click on user input, it will take me to the user input here. And I can now say, what do you want to save the input as? So in this case, I can say user.name because that would mean the name of the user. And that's all. So from here, I already have your name. And next thing I want to do is to ask my next question. And my next question will be to get your cake size. So, but in my next question, I will use what you've given me before to get the next question. So yeah, in my next question, I'm saying that's a nice name. Now for you to do variable injection here, you have to use this symbol. So use the dollar and then curly bracket symbol, then input whatever variable you want to inject. I already have my user.name variable. So yeah, it should show whatever I inputted as my name, and that should work fine. right? So yeah, I can save my user input as user.kickstart. That works great. And next thing I want to get is the flavor. Now for the flavor, as I've said, I'm going to give you options because I don't want you to choose what I don't have, right? So that's another use case for options. So for this case here, I'm going to ask a question, but it's going to be multiple choice. So if I click on multiple choice because I need you to, I have to give you choices where you choose from the choices. So sorry. So yeah, I'm going to input the question here, which is that's great. Just some few things to complete your order. What flavor would you love to have? Then in the user input, you will now notice that this one is different. I can input the variable for the user input, which in this case is user.flavor. I can also input the name, the choice name. So in this case, the first choice name is vanilla. So I'll include my vanilla. You need to enter for it to save. I'll also include caramel and strawberry. So I also include strawberry. Yeah, and that automatically updates here. Where as you can see now, I'm inputting my user information, and that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, next thing I want to do is to collect your address. So I can come here and ask you, where would you like to have your cake? Yeah, let me just take it as an input field. There's no default for address. So yeah, where we love your cake to be delivered to, and yeah, I would say it is the user dot address. I hope I spelled that well. So that's user dot address. So the next thing is to get the delivery date and end the dialogue. So yeah, to get the delivery date, I'll just take that as a text input. So we won't waste much time. So not when. So I copied the wrong guy. So when will you like me to deliver your cake? So yeah, I can now put the field as user.delivery date. So because we are running a bit slow on time, I'll just add an end dialog here. But I'll also give an example of other things you can add also. But before I end dialogue, it's always important to show what the person has imputed before ending the dialogue. So yeah, I can send the response here and say now to do multiple lines here. For you to do multiple lines, if I try to type and I do this, you will see an error here, simply because by default it's expecting a single line. So for me to do multiple lines, I will need to use the triple tilde, wrap your text around triple tilde. So yeah, here is your order detail. So yeah, I can now input whatever I want to input. So I can say name and show you the name. Yeah. So yeah, I can say your name is user, and your name from what we have is your user name. Then your what else? What's the next one? Cake size. So size. Let us say size. Size will be user.cake size. Then I think the next one should be flavor, and that should be user.flavor. Then address. Address is user.address. Then the last one should be your delivery date. And should be done after this delivery. So yeah, I can just do this as some sort of confirmation. After then, I can now like end the dialog. So I can come here and say end this dialog after that. So for you to test your bot, you need to have the bot framework emulator installed, because that is what you'll be using to test your bots. So let me show you what the bot framework emulator is. I'm currently running V4, which is the latest version, I suppose, right now. So yeah, bot framework emulator does give you that interface to chat with a bot, and it helps you to like test your bots locally without having to like deploy it first before testing. So yeah, here is the bot framework emulator, and then yeah, you can see various bots I already created before. So to give you that user interface to chat with the bot. So right now I clicked on a bot that is not running. That's why I've seen this. For me to run this particular bot, I need to click start bot. So when you click start bot, what happens is your bot framework composer gets all these requirements that you have stated and helps you to create the bot. It creates the project for that bot for you automatically. So so when that is complete, I will show you here. So it's still in the process of creating the bot. So that's pretty much what it does from here. Helps you to create that bot. So after creating the bot, it now gives you that interface for you to interact. It gives you that interface for you to interact with the bot, and that will help you trigger the bot framework emulator. So while this is still loading, we can review this over again. So here is the dialog, and here the dialog information you stated. There are so many other things you can also do. Let me just show you example here. Okay, so since this is up, let's open in test. Let's test in emulator. So that will automatically open the emulator for you and try to run the application. Right now, I don't know. Let's see. I have no idea why this is happening. But let's try to do this first and see how it works. So a couple of things can also go wrong while you are building your bot and trying to test it. So you need to like go over it again. Here is the text input, the output, text inputs, multiple choice, then this for address and the response. So let's try that again. So let's try again and see. So at every point when you click on test in emulator, it automatically creates an instance of the bot for you. So our bot is live. Let me quickly do this so you can see it. So here's our bot. It says, hello, welcome to MS Inspire Kickbot. You can call me Kickbot. Fresh name, right? What about you? I would love to know your name. So let's say Olumide. That's my name. So it's like, thanks, that's a nice name, Olumide. So you can see the injection that we did here, the variable injection that we did here. So it says, what, that's a nice name, and it gets my name here. So which is this? That's a nice name, Olumide. I'm so happy to meet you. What size of cake will you love to have? Let me say I need 7 inches single. So it's like, oh, that's great. Just some few things to complete your order. What flavor will you love to have? Okay, let's say I want caramel. It says, okay, where will you love your cake to be delivered to? Let's say I won't give you my address. So yeah, I'll just use an address in Lagos, 5 Toyin Street, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. So when would you like to deliver my cake? Man, I want this cake tomorrow by 6 p.m. So you can see this. Here is the other details: name, size, flavor, the address, and delivery date. It has all those things already for you, and you can add other things like. So let me add one last thing to make. Let me also add this last thing. Um, thank you for for your order. Your Thank you for your order. So let's do this. So thank you for your order. Is that a name? So yeah, I can say I'll put the cake size. So I can say your user dot cake size. So in this case, let's say your 15 inches cake with, I'll put the flavor. This is like a better user experience than this is your other details. So 15 inches cake with um user dot flavor will be delivered to, then you can input the address, user dot address, or by, then you can now input the delivery date, user dot delivery date. And that is like a better user experience for the user. So there's also one more thing, and you can also add emojis to it. You can try to give it, if you can get the Unicode character of the emojis, you can add it to this. I add an emoji here, so let me just go back to the one I created earlier and copy the emoji. Sorry, so add an emoji here. So like come here and copy the emoji.
So this is so fun.
So I can go back to
it makes the whole bot very like fun to interact with.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
think this
building a
session,
bot is quite easier.
yeah, it's so great to learn from Olumide, and I think we all have learned so much. But I think we're running out of time, so maybe we could just see how it's going currently. Maybe we can run the bot once and see what the results are. That might be a great next step.
Great.
And maybe if people are really
Great.
interested and want to
So
see,
I'm going to run the bot one final time. I just wanted to show you this last message.
sure.
So yeah, so this should be final move. Yeah. Um Sorry. I have No idea. Okay, so you can see here I did not add my $sign here, so that's why that's taking a couple of time. So once this
Yeah,
gets
it's
started,
actually great seeing all this stuff. I'm sure we can do deploying of the bots in like second episode, like so that we have see all the fire on your screen from Bashir Koret.
oh great. So yeah, we can deploy, but that's right now my Azure subscription. I'm currently having some issues with it, so I'll not be able to push that to Azure. But I'm going to show you the steps on how to deploy, and hopefully I can deploy it and share the link later.
Sure, that sounds great.
Yeah.
It
So
was
just
so
this
great
final
for
step, I should be up fine from there. Okay, so let's do one final rundown and we should be good. So yeah, what's your name? I say Olumide. That's a nice name. This time I want a bigger cake. So let's say 10 inches double. Um, no, I want strawberry this time around. Um, for doing street Lagos. Let's say 4 straight. What time? Tomorrow by 10 a.m. So you can see this message is more, it has a better user experience. Thank you Olumide for your order. The 10 inches double cake with strawberry flavor will be delivered to 4 Toyin Street, Lagos by 10 by tomorrow by 10 a.m. And that's more a better user experience than what we had before. So there are many other ways you can make your bots amazing. But yeah, for this demo, I think this is all we'll be doing. I hope to see more of what you do. You can tweet at me or reach out to me when you build something. I would love to see it and probably give some feedback. So that's pretty much what the that's pretty much it on the demo. So I also wanted to show you here the documentation. In the docs, you would see deployment published to Azure. So yeah, you can follow the steps here in the documentation for you to publish your bots to Azure. And yeah, I have the links to this in my slides. So I'll just go back to the slides. Try to share my slides from here. So here, and we should be done. Okay. So yeah, quick reference. You have the composer repo. From there, there's a link to the repo. Then there's also a build 2020 release video where you can see some other things you can do with the bots and majorly the new things you have in the bots. Then the bot framework emulator, you have the link to download it there. .NET Core SDK, the link is also there. Yarn, Node.js, Git, Composer, Docs, and that's it. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming around, sticking around, and um, going on this amazing ride with me on how to build bots with bot framework composer. I hope you guys learned something from this and are able to build more bots without having to stress yourself writing code. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Olumide, for joining us. And I myself learned so much about bots and the Composer framework. And it looks like everyone was really excited about your session as well. They were all cheering for you in the comments. And it would be great to have you for a more in-depth session soon again in the future.
Great. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, I'm always available. I can do a lot of fun stuff soon. yeah. So I'm trying to go through the chat to see if there's any question I can attend to. And where is the Python documentation linked to the doc? Oh yeah, so there's both frameworks Python documentation. So I'm going to drop that on the chat.
And this is just the start. I believe all of you now might have ideas about bots you want to build for yourself. So I think just go onto the website and start building bots.
Great. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me also. So I just
Yes,
sent
it
the
was so
link.
great to have you. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. So I think with that, we can conclude today's session. Stay tuned on the MSP Inspire channel, and we're going to be having great content just like this every Saturday. And you can tune in and watch, share with your friends. And that's all. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. Hope to hear from you soon.